That bottle on your dresser, the one that just says fragrance on the back, nothing else. Under United States law, a company can hide an entire chemical formula behind that single word, not because it is harmless, because it is a trade secret. Phthalates, synthetic musks, allergens with names you cannot pronounce, all of it legally allowed to disappear into one word that nobody has to explain. 7 perfume brands have been caught, tested, and documented doing exactly that. One of them pumped it through 300 stores onto 10,000 employees who never agreed to breathe it. 3 brands did the opposite. They opened the formula and dared you to read it. The worst one is first. Avoid number 1. Abercrombie & Fitch. Fierce. Walking through the mall, you smelled the store before you ever saw the sign. The scent rolled out past the entrance, down the hallway, into the food court, until it became the smell of the entire mall, not just one store. That scent became the whole identity. Wearing it meant you belonged to something. A whole generation of teenagers learned what confidence was supposed to smell like from a bottle with one word printed on the back of it. The brand built more than $200 million in fragrance sales off that single scent since it launched in 2002, almost entirely on the strength of the smell itself, rather than anything sprayed onto an actual product. Independent testing by the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics found 11 chemicals inside that bottle never listed anywhere on the label. 8 of them are documented sensitizers, tied to headaches, wheezing, asthma, and contact dermatitis. The fragrance also tested positive for diethyl phthalate at 3,500 parts per million. A university researcher studying fragrance sensitivity found that more than 30% of the general population reports breathing difficulties or headaches from fragranced products like this one. None of that made it onto the shelf sign. None of it made it onto the bottle either. Feels like confidence in a glass bottle. Reads like a chemical disclosure nobody was forced to make. The label says one word: fragrance. Behind that word sat 11 undisclosed ingredients and 8 known irritants, pumped through scent machines into the air of more than 300 stores nationwide onto roughly 10,000 employees who clocked in for an 8-hour shift. They could not opt out of breathing. For the teenager who thought this was the smell of growing up, this is what you actually bought. 11 chemicals nobody had to disclose, applied straight to your skin and circulated through the air the entire time you shopped, with no warning posted anywhere near the door. If there is a least bad option in this lineup, it is whatever on the current shelf is labeled fragrance-free. Nothing else here earns the benefit of the doubt, and the company has never had to prove otherwise. 11 chemicals you never agreed to. 10,000 employees who never opted in. That was a scent forced into the air without asking. The next brand forced its number onto a lab report instead, and it is the worst number in the entire study. Avoid number 2. Calvin Klein. Eternity. The bottle sitting on your mother's vanity. The one that showed up in every wedding gift basket and every department store counter display for 30 years straight, right next to the register where the sales associate always offered you a free sample card on the way out. That name felt safe. Department store counter, recognizable box, the kind of fragrance you bought because it meant you had arrived at being a grown-up, the one your aunt wore to every wedding and never once switched. A testing program by Environmental Defense Canada examined 17 popular fragrance products and found diethyl phthalate in 12 of them. Calvin Klein. Eternity for Men came back with the highest concentration in the entire study, 19,000 parts per million. Diethyl phthalate has been linked in human studies to anti-androgenic effects and reduced sperm quality, the exact kind of finding that never makes it onto a counter display card. Smells timeless. Reads like the single worst number on the entire list. Calvin Klein does not actually make this fragrance. Coty does, under license. The same company managing dozens of other designer and celebrity fragrance lines, nearly all carrying that same one-word label and nothing more. One licensing company, dozens of brand names, one identical disclosure gap running underneath every single one of them. For the woman who bought this because it felt like the safe, grown-up choice on the counter, the one gift that never disappointed anyone at a wedding shower. This is what you actually bought. The highest concentration of a hormone-disrupting chemical found anywhere in that entire study, sold under the most trusted name in the store. If anything in this lineup deserves the benefit of the doubt, it is CK1. Independent panels have flagged it less often than Eternity has. Less concerning is still not the same thing as safe, and the company has never confirmed why the difference exists. 19,000 parts per million on the inside, 0 warning on the outside. That was a hidden number sitting quietly on a department store shelf. The next brand built its entire growth strategy on the thing that just landed in a regulatory filing. Subscribe so you do not miss the rest of this list. 5 more brands. The receipts only get worse from here. Avoid number 3. Bath & Body Works. The mall trip every teenage girl remembers. The smell hits before the door even closes behind you. Vanilla, sugar, something called champagne toast. A whole wall of candy-colored bottles stacked floor to ceiling, with a line already forming at the candle table by the door. That smell became a ritual, not just a purchase. Birthday gifts, Christmas stockings, the candle your aunt always picked because it felt safe and happy for absolutely anyone on her list. This was the brand nobody questioned, the default gift. The training wheels of having a signature scent at all, years before anyone old enough to buy a real bottle of perfume. In 2024, the company told investors that fine fragrance mist was a core growth driver, the category pulling in new customers faster than anything else on the shelf. That same year, a California 60-day notice cited diethanolamine in several of its fragrance products. A settlement followed in 2025. Reformulation, new warning labels. Independent testing across the broader fragranced personal care category has found an average of 10 sensitizing ingredients hiding inside a single product, the exact category this brand built its growth story on. By November of 2025, the company admitted the entire fragrance-led strategy had not actually grown its customer base. Its stock dropped nearly a quarter in a single day. Smells like comfort and a safe gift for anyone. Reads like a strategy that triggered a regulatory notice and still failed on its own terms. The growth story and the safety notice landed in the same 18-month window. One word, fragrance, covered the ingredients behind both the whole time. For the girl who got her very first real bottle of perfume from this store, wrapped under a tree, handed over at a sleepover. This is what you actually bought. A formula tied to a regulatory notice, sold as the centerpiece of a strategy the company later admitted did not work. If there is a least bad pick on this shelf, it is the fragrance-free body care line. The lotions and washes built without the mist formulas at the center of the notice. Everything built around the words fine fragrance mist is exactly what triggered the problem. A growth strategy and a safety settlement. Same calendar year, same shelf, same name. That brand bet its future on a teenage ritual and got caught by its own bet. The next brand built its whole identity on being the very first bottle a teenage girl was ever allowed to choose for herself. Avoid number 4. Victoria's Secret Pink. The body mist in every school locker, every sleepover bag, every backpack pocket of every teenage girl in the country at some point, usually around the same age, usually the exact same 5 cents everyone owned at once. This brand was built for that age, on purpose, from the very first bottle. The branding, the scent names, the bright candy-colored packaging, all of it designed to feel like the first grown-up decision a teenager finally got to make on her own. Not borrowed from her mother's dresser. Hers. Independent testing commissioned around fragrance safety has repeatedly documented phthalates and sensitizing allergens inside mass-market body mists marketed at teenage girls. This brand included. Government health surveys have found measurable phthalate metabolites in the bodies of the vast majority of women and girls tested, with personal care products like body mist named as one of the leading sources. The company's own public statement says exposure levels stay below regulatory thresholds. That statement still does not say what is actually inside the bottle. Smells like the first scent that ever felt like yours. Reads like a formula the company will defend in a press statement, but still will not show you. The defense is always the same sentence. Below the threshold, within the limit, compliant with regulation. None of those words require telling you what is actually inside. So far, the company never has. For the teenager who thought this was the first real choice she ever made about how she wanted to smell, this is what you actually bought. A formula built for the youngest, most absorptive skin on this entire list. Defended with a technicality instead of disclosed in full. If there is a least bad option here, it is anything from the brand's fragrance-free skincare line. The body mists are the entire problem with this brand. They are also the entire product line everyone actually buys. Built for the youngest skin on this list. Defended with the smallest disclosure on this list. That bottle was handed to a daughter. Sprayed before school. Replaced every few months without a second thought. The next one was handed to her brother. Same hallway, same age, same kind of silence, just in a different shaped bottle. Subscribe so you do not miss the brands that actually got this right. 3 of them are coming up next. Avoid number 5. Axe the locker room after gym class. The hallway right before first period. 1 can, sprayed by at least 3 different boys. all trying to cover the same thing, all reaching for the same can sitting open on a shared shelf. This was the brand every teenage boy trusted without thinking twice. Cheap, easy to find. The default first scent for anyone who had never bought a fragrance in his life. You did not pick it because you researched it. You picked it because everyone else already had. And the ads promised it worked instantly the moment the can hit the air. Testing through the Environmental Defense Canada program checked multiple body spray products for diethyl phthalate. Several Axe variants came back with detectable residue, some at levels comparable to fragrances costing 4 times as much. One variant, marketed as Shock, came back with none at all. Same brand, same shelf. 2 completely different results, and no label anywhere explained why one can was different from the one sitting right next to it. Smells like confidence in a can. Reads like a company that cannot even keep its own formula consistent. Read the ingredient list across different cans of the same product line. They are not identical. The fragrance compound shifts from batch to batch, scent to scent, with phthalate levels moving right along with it, even though the price, the packaging, and the marketing promise stay exactly the same. For the boy who thought one can meant one formula, sprayed the same way every single morning for years before school, this is what you actually bought, a product where the safety profile changed depending on which variant you grabbed, and nobody ever told you that mattered. If there is a least bad option, it is the Shock variant, the one tested without detectable phthalate residue. That is not the same as proven safe across every batch. It is simply the only one with better numbers attached to it. Same brand, different formula every single time you grabbed a new can. That was a body spray that could not even stay consistent with itself. The next brand sold you the word natural, while the founder quietly admitted otherwise. Avoid number 6, Pacifica. The bottle you switched to specifically because it said natural on the front. The one you picked after learning what was hiding in everything else on this list. The bottle you told a friend about because it finally felt like the safe option. This brand built its entire reputation on being the safe alternative. Vegan, cruelty-free. Marketed for years as the clean, conscious choice for anyone who had just learned to read a label and wanted to feel like the label finally meant something. The brand's own founder has stated in public interviews that hitting their price point would be impossible without using synthetic fragrance. Her husband, also involved in running the company, said the same thing in a separate interview around the same time, confirming that the cheap price and the natural claim could not both be fully true at once. The labels still read fragrance with natural oils. The company commits to avoiding over 1,800 ingredients, but will not publish that list anywhere a customer can actually check it, leaving the same independent safety databases that flagged earlier brands on this list with no way to verify the claim either. Looks like the safe choice you finally made. Reads like the exact same trade-off as everything else, just with softer packaging. Fragrance with natural oils. Read that phrase again. It does not say natural fragrance. It says fragrance, with some natural oils added in, and the founder already confirmed why. For the shopper who thought switching brands meant solving the problem, this is what you actually bought. The identical synthetic fragrance issue from 5 sections ago, wrapped in language built to make you stop checking. If there is a least bad option here, it is anything from the unscented line, the products built without added fragrance compounds at all. The moment fragrance shows up on the label, the same unanswered questions show up with it. Natural on the front, synthetic on the inside, confirmed by the person who built it. That brand sold you relief from the problem instead of an actual solution to it. The next one does not even pretend the price has anything to do with the formula at all. Avoid number 7, designer imposters. The dollar store rack next to the register. Rows of tiny bottles promising the exact same scent as the $80 version sitting 2 stores down for $3 instead. The kind of find that turns into its own video the moment you get home and compare them side by side. This brand built its entire appeal around that promise. Why pay more for the same smell? The packaging even says it outright. Designer quality fragrances, not designer prices. For anyone stretching a budget, that pitch sounds less like marketing and more like common sense, which is exactly why it spread the way it did. The same fragrance non-disclosure rule that hides ingredients in every brand on this list still applies here, except this time there is no major company name attached, no legal exposure, no public reputation at stake if something goes wrong, and no shareholder ever asking a hard question on an earnings call. No independent lab has published testing data on these specific formulas at all. Not even the kind of partial data the bigger brands eventually got caught by when a regulator or a class action attorney finally went looking. Looks like the smart shopper's choice. Reads like the one bottle on this entire list nobody has ever actually checked. Every brand before this one at least got tested by somebody. A safety group, a regulator, a class action lawyer. This one has never been tested by anyone, and that absence is the entire story, not a side detail of it, for the shopper who thought $3 meant the same formula at a smaller price. This is what you actually bought. The identical hidden ingredient problem as every department store name above it, except missing the one thing that ever forces a brand to answer for it. If there is a least bad option here, it is simply choosing a fragrance-free deodorant instead, made by a company required to list active ingredients on the front. The imposter bottles do not come with that requirement attached. Tested by nobody. Priced like it does not matter. 7 brands. 7 different price points. Every single one hiding behind the exact same word. Go check your perfume shelf right now. Pick up the bottle you reach for the most and turn it over. If the only ingredient listed is the word fragrance, you just found out why none of this was ever your fault to catch. Okay, stop for a second. You just sat through 7 different perfume brands, different price points, different aisles, different audiences entirely. One playbook underneath all of it. Step 1. A company prints the word fragrance on the back of a bottle. Step 2. Trade secret law lets that one word legally replace an entire ingredient list. Step 3. The company points to a voluntary industry guideline as if it were an actual regulation. Step 4. Nobody outside a lab ever checks the math unless a lawsuit or a 60-day notice forces it open. Step 5. By the time anyone checks, you have already bought the bottle, used the bottle, and bought the replacement. That is not 7 separate stories. That is one story, told 7 times with 7 different logos stapled to the front of it. 3 brands looked at that exact playbook and refused to run it. Worth it. Number 1. Henry Rose. Where every brand on this list sells you a single word, this one sells you a list with 300 names on it, published in full. Michelle Pfeiffer spent over a decade trying to find a fine fragrance willing to disclose what was actually inside it. When she could not find one, she stopped wearing perfume altogether. Then she built the brand herself. Henry Rose became the first fine fragrance line ever to earn the EWG verified mark, working directly with the Environmental Working Group to take the industry's roughly 3,000 standard fragrance ingredients and narrow that list down to 300 that actually met the standard. 0 phthalates, 0 parabens, cradle-to-cradle gold certified on top of it. Read the actual ingredient list. All of it is published on the bottle and on the website, which makes Henry Rose the only fragrance on this entire list where that sentence is even possible to write. The carve-out. The scent palette is intentionally restrained on purpose. If you want something loud, heavy, and maximalist enough to fill a room, this is not built for that. It is built to be worn close, not projected far. Around $140, sold direct at henryrose.com and select retailers. More than one industry professional told her a fully disclosed fine fragrance was impossible to build. She built it anyway and proved the entire excuse wrong. That is what one person did with a decade and a refusal to compromise. The next brand did it because of one allergic reaction in a nursery. Worth it. Number 2. Skylar. Where the last 6 bottles needed a lawsuit to prove what was inside, this one published the list itself before anybody made it. Kat Chen founded Skylar in 2017 after her infant daughter had an allergic reaction to her mother's perfume. She rebuilt the formula from scratch around that one event. The brand goes beyond the European Union's 26 restricted fragrance allergens, voluntarily adding 10 more of its own. It raised $11 million and was acquired by Starco Brands in 2023. Proof that a fully disclosed formula can scale commercially instead of staying a niche experiment. Free of parabens, phthalates, and sulfates, with the full ingredient list published online for every single scent. No trade secret exemption used anywhere. The carve-out. The scent profile leans lighter and more wearable by design. If you are hunting a heavy, deep, Oriental-style fragrance built to last all day on its own, this was not built for that category. Around $40 to $80, sold at Skylar.com, Ulta, and Target. A mother solved a problem regulation never bothered to. The next brand did not even need a single hidden ingredient to outsell brands 4 times its size. Worth it. Number 3. Fleur. Where the others needed a regulator to force a label change, this one made transparency the entire pitch from day one. Chriselle Lim relaunched Fleur in 2021 and built its breakout scent, Missing Person, out of her own divorce. It launched with a waitlist of 200,000 people. A 2025 viral fragrance ranking placed Fleur ahead of Dior, Chanel, YSL Beauty, and Byredo. Sold at Sephora, Selfridges, and Anthropologie, the brand earned that ranking without leaning on a single legacy name: vegan, cruelty-free, formulated without parabens or phthalates. The brand deliberately stopped using the word clean as marketing, specifically because clean is unregulated language, choosing actual ingredient transparency over a buzzword instead. The carve-out. The formulas are built skin-close, almost musk-forward, meant to read intimate rather than fill a room. If you want a fragrance people smell from across the table, this is not it. Around $80 to $90, sold at Sephora, Anthropologie, and Fleur.com. It beat Chanel on the internet without needing one hidden ingredient to to do it. You just sat through 10 brands, 11 undisclosed chemicals pumped through 300 stores, the highest phthalate concentration in an entire testing study sold under the most trusted name on the shelf, a growth strategy that triggered its own safety notice, a body mist built for the youngest skin on this list, a body spray that could not stay consistent with itself, a founder who admitted the natural label was never fully true, a dollar bottle nobody has ever bothered to test at all. It is not a mistake, it is the model. Walk into your bathroom tomorrow morning. Pick up the perfume you reach for the most. Turn it over. If the only word on the back is fragrance, you just found the exact gap none of these companies ever had to close. Subscribe so you do not miss the Part 2 breakdown, the candle and home fragrance brands running this same playbook in your living room. If someone you know still sprays one of the first 7 every morning without knowing what is behind that word, send them this before they reach for it again. The system is not broken. It is working exactly the way it was built to work. You were never supposed to read past the word fragrance. Stay sharp. Read those labels. Keep rising.